Welcome to Trivia World. Today we're gonna learn about the Olympics. Before we begin, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to our channel. The Olympics are known as the biggest sporting event in the world, aiming to encourage friendly competition between countries from all 5 continents. As Baron de Coubertin, the guy who founded the modern Olympic Games, said, "The important thing is not to win, but to compete and do it with dignity." Let's find out some interesting facts about the Games. According to Greek mythology, the hero Hercules started the Olympics around 2500 BC in ancient Greece to honor his dad, Zeus. But the first historical records of the Olympics are from 776 BC, when they started writing down the names of the winning athletes. Back then, the kings of Ilia, Sparta, and Pisa teamed up to ensure a sacred truce across Greece during the Games. This alliance was made in the Temple of Hera, in the sanctuary of Olympia. And that's where the term Olympics comes from. Athens hosted the first modern-era Olympics in April 1896, with athletes from 14 countries. In total, 241 athletes competed in 9 sports. Since then, the Olympic Games have happened every 4 years, except during 1914 and 1918, and 1939 and 1945, because of the First and Second World Wars. The Olympics are the biggest sporting event in the world, with athletes from over 200 countries competing in all kinds of sports. They happen every 4 years and are split into the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics, which take place 2 years apart. The Olympic flame, which originally burned in honor of the goddess Hera during the ancient Olympia Games, didn't make an appearance at the Athens Games. It wasn't until the 1928 Amsterdam Games that the Olympic fire was brought back, and the first Olympic cauldron kept the flame burning throughout the event. The tradition of the torch relay started at the Berlin Games in 1936. The first torch was carried by 3,000 runners to the Olympic Stadium in Berlin, timed perfectly to arrive for the opening ceremony. This ritual was created to connect the ancient games with the modern ones. The Olympic flame symbolizes the purity and eternal youth of the Olympics, serving as a link between the birthplace of the Games in Greece and today's host cities. The 5 interlocking rings in different colors represent the 5 continents. The Olympic rings became one of the main symbols of the Games in 1913, after the 1912 Stockholm Olympics, which was the first time athletes from all continents took part. Olympic mascots were officially introduced in Munich in 1972 with a sausage dog named Waldy, who is still super popular today. Waldy was created to pump up the public and athletes before each competition and to represent Olympic values like endurance, determination, and agility. A cool fact about Waldy is that his design used 3 of the 6 colors of the Olympic flag, blue, yellow, and green, and even had the shape of that year's marathon route. Since then, mascots have become a memorable symbol of each Olympics. The podium at award ceremonies was first introduced at the 1912 Olympics in Stockholm, Sweden. Before that, winners got their medals standing at the same level as everyone else. The idea of stepping up onto a podium to get medals was created so the public and media could see better, turning it into a symbolic and iconic moment for athletes. American swimmer Michael Phelps has stood on the podium more than anyone in history, racking up a total of 28 Olympic medals, 23 gold, 3 silver, and 2 bronze, in his career. At the 1906 St. Louis Olympics in the USA, athletes were the first to win gold, silver, and bronze medals for first, second, and third place. Before that, gold medals were considered too pricey, so they used other metals. When it comes to the Olympic Games, the United States is the ultimate powerhouse. Historically, they're at the top of the medal count with around 1,127 gold medals. If you add up all the medals from both the Summer and Winter Games, they have about 2,827. The gap is huge. Second place goes to the Soviet Union, which doesn't even exist anymore and hasn't competed in the Olympics for about 30 years. London hosted the Olympics for a record 3 times, in 1908, 1948 and 2012. But the record will last until the next Olympics in Paris, as the French capital will host for the 3rd time too. Also, after Paris, the next Olympic Games will be at Los Angeles, who will host for the 3rd time too, making the 3 cities as the record holders. One game changer at the Olympics was when they started showing the events live on TV. It all kicked off in London back in 1948, even though hardly anyone had a TV back then. But getting the competitions to folks at home really helped spread the Olympic vibe. Then, in Tokyo 1964, they added some extra flair with color transmission. Women's involvement in the Olympics has been a bit up and down compared to men, but there have been some big strides. Like in London 2012, where every country had at least one female athlete, which was a huge milestone. And now, in Paris 2024, there's gonna be total gender equality, with the same number of spots for men and women. It's another sign that women's opportunities in sports are on the rise. What your thoughts on Olympics? Let us know and subscribe.